I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head.
Our delicious new gingerbread and white chocolate Chatime is available in your choice of milky or frozen iced tea, or made hot, so you can enjoy it any way you like. Chatime, shaking tea up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the AEL Season 2 quarterfinals. My name is Proto, and joining me on the desk tonight is Spudoom. Spud, how you doing?
I am doing great. I'm really excited to be here. The quarterfinals are going to be intense. We've got some really great teams, and some universities have more than one team, so we could end up seeing them facing off against each other. Of course, before we start, I want to give a big shout out to all our sponsors for making all of this possible. Of course, AOC for making sure that we can see clearly when we play, and being our monitor partner, and of course, RIG Headsets for being our headset partner, making sure we can hear as well, because we all know how important it is to see and hear what you're doing when you're playing video games.
We would also like to give a big thanks to Chatime as well for all of your bubble tea needs, as well as Indomie for all things Scrum diddly-umptious. Now, more into the game. Obviously, Spud, a pretty big lineup here tonight. Lil Monash taking on RMIT Black. A quick little look, though, for the rest of the bracket. We'll just jump on into that. And we'll explore a little bit more of the quarterfinals in depth here. We do have a pretty heated bracket, I would say. Obviously, this is going to be a double elimination bracket. And round one is looking pretty tasty, Spud.
Yeah, so far, Monash Thoroughballs and Swinister have been able to take out wins, which means Unimelb Arctics and UN Amplified are now playing for a spot in the lower bracket. And to stay in the game, one of them will be knocked out. So we already know it's either Unimelb Arctics or UN Amplified who are going to be staying on. We also have Monkey ETS playing against the other RMIT team, Thermite. That is yet to be played, I believe. It may actually be going on just as we speak. Of course, for our game we are going to be watching right now, RMIT Black versus we do a lil Monash. In terms of their records so far, how are both of these teams doing?
Well, we obviously know that RMIT Black is doing pretty well. RMIT Black tend to do pretty decently throughout. They have had a couple of interesting losses, though, this semester, which have been somewhat interesting to see. Not teams that we'd usually see them lose to. And on, obviously, the other end of the spectrum, RMIT Black doing pretty well, but Monash, they're also doing pretty decently. But I mean, the rosters do speak for themselves for both of these teams, and both of these teams do have pretty decent rosters. So tonight is definitely going to be quite interesting. Here is the first 90 Jin, AX Hydra, NBD, OJ, and Vincier. So I mean, a pretty stacked lineup to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, we have at least one Pro League player and one OCM player and a bunch of other players who have been involved not just in AEL, but a lot of other leagues as well. So a lot of experience going into this. It's just a matter of how well they'll mesh together. When you have a star lineup like that, often, it often comes down to synergy and teamwork. And I think that's a little bit of a, comparison to what we see in Monash's lineup. Monash's lineup, they're a very coordinated lineup. They're players who have played together for a long time. I remember watching these guys, for a long time, last season before that. We've got Bowie, Pokidoo, Sporter, Tresp, and of course, Yoda Pug. All of these players have a lot of experience. They spent a lot of time playing together. And so will the power of friendship be able to overcome the star power of RMIT Black? I mean, that's a storyline that we keep harping on about, and, it never gets old.
Yeah, chemistry is definitely going to come into the cards here tonight. I mean, this Monash team, as you said, they've been playing together for a really long time. They're a very solid side. They definitely do have that teamwork side of things. And then you obviously have the RMIT roster who, chemistry-wise, they're pretty good. But obviously, you do have that OCN, that PL, and even top-tier EVO skill. So, I mean, there is benefits and doubts for both teams in terms of that. But we are going to be looking at this game tonight in depth, and we will see who walks away with the victories. The map bans, as we see coming up below us right now, Coastline gone, Clubhouse gone. Chalet is actually in Oregon as well. Who would have guessed? Cafe. And then Bank is our decider. So an interesting pool. We do have Chalet and Bank in the same map veto. Obviously, Oregon, we could have expected that. But what are you thinking about this map lineup?
Yeah, I'm really liking the fact that we get to see more Chalet. It's been in the map pool for a while. People have kind of gotten used to it, worked out the strategies, and there's a lot of different ways of approaching it. The sites are all very strong compared to when they were, before the rework. And there's a lot of ways of attacking it, a lot of ways of defending it as well. So definitely really excited to see that one. And of course, our old favorite Bank makes its return. I remember playing on Bank my very first AEL game. So it's been a while since we have seen it. So looking forward to that as well.
Bank is a long lost friend of mine. I love Bank. I'm so glad that it is back in competitive, and hopefully we get to see it tonight. As I said, it is going to be an outsider, so we are going to have to see 3 maps for that. But I believe Oregon is going to be our first here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And let's get right on into it. As always, we're going to be starting things off with the bands. And Spud, what are you predicting?
Well, I'm going to go out on a branch here, on a limb here, and I'm going to say a Thatcher ban. Perhaps someone would have the original idea of banning Thatcher. But apart from that, I reckon Flores might be in contention here. He's very strong, especially on that bottom floor. So wouldn't be surprised if we see him taken away.
Flores, especially on Oregon, is such a the fair friendship on such a map like Oregon. Flores is a very, very strong operator, especially for downstairs, top floor. Even he can be quite important as well. So him being banned out here is definitely not something that I would be scared to see. And there you are. There is the Flores drones taken off the board. Now, defenders wise, probably going to see a Cade, maybe a Valkyrie. We've seen a lot of Valkyrie and Evo recently. I don't know if that carries over, but definitely could see Valkyrie ban. What are you thinking in terms of the defense?
I'm also thinking a Wamai ban. I do recall seeing lil Monash play into that, and of course, there's just so much huge hill burn that happens on this map. Taking off a Wamai might make it a little easier to perform those attacks, especially when you have to get through so many shields, especially without a Flores. But I spoke about all of that, and that just goes down the drain as they ban out Valkyrie and Mira.
Interesting that Cade has been left on the board here, Wamai as well. Interestingly enough, no denial and wall denial operators removed from the pool there. So we are going to see all of those in play. Valkyrie, as we know, very strong operator. Cameras-wise, very, very scary. And I can say, and I can vouch, actually, for Jin. We've seen him do some very scary things with that Valkyrie in the past. So, could be a factor that comes into the bans there, but a pretty standard attacking lineup. Maybe one less hard breach than we usually see. Sometimes a Hibana in the mix, but the line is very interesting here for RMIT. Paired with no longer the Jackal, and there's the Hibana I was talking about. So still a pretty interesting attacking lineup bringing that line, I think.
Yeah, it's going to allow them to be a little more aggressive, and I think that's kind of expected with RMIT Black. They have a lot of great fraggers, a lot of people who can take those gunfights and have a high chance of winning. So bringing the line to kind of accentuate that and add on to the ability to just take things head on, it's really a great idea. I do have, as you mentioned, that extra hard breach definitely will come in handy. Oregon, one of those maps where you can't do without two hard breaches. A bit like Clubhouse, you just really need it.
Yeah, you really do, and those two operators are going to be pivotal. Also, I'd like to point towards the names of Monash. This is going to make my night a whole lot more interesting trying to remember who's who just off glancing at a look. But there are the previous matches. So RMIT, the only team here to take a loss, the rest wins. And Monash have had a couple of draws, which, interestingly enough, isn't a loss. So, I mean, a draw is going to be better at the end of the day, but RMIT, other than that, have only had wins. So, I think we have a pretty good matchup here. Pretty standard setup on the top floor for Monash and RMIT Black. They're going to be starting us off on the attack here, and it is going to be our first round on Oregon.
Drone activated.
Adding a bit of pressure now to that classroom area, OJ looks to be solo pushing Axe Hydra, providing some drone or maybe some long-range backup. Yep, there's his drone right there, positioned in games. They're going to be looking to open up the bottom of that wall. In the meantime, NDB and Vincia are working on this big tower. Attic is the other wall you got to be worrying about. And of course, you're going to make sure there's no one up there playing rat games.
Yes, 90 Jin, the Rat King, is on the attack, so no rat games from him just yet. But having this PL OCN experience, well, OJ is just going to get swung by Pokadu there, and that is going to benefit him in terms of a frag. A lot of damage dealt to AXX there as well, but not enough to down him just yet. As I was saying, you're going to be expecting to see a split push here from the attackers, and that is usually what I would be expecting. One hard breacher down now, though, is going to make that slightly harder with losing Hibana so early on. We do see the Maverick trick coming out here from Vincia, but it has slowed RMIT down just that little bit. 1 minute 30 left in the round. Spends a minute and a half right now. Attic is finally open. They still have to get this main wall open now without that Hibana.
Yeah, it's just so difficult to be pushing with a single wall. That Attic can be a real choke point for the attackers. But Axe Hydra will manage to pick off one player, so it will be even back out in man count, and maybe they'll just have to brute force this. This could be a viable strategy, but Tress close with the shotgun down, almost down Jin, but will be flashed out and forced to retreat now. Goes for the second, swings and gets one. Axe Hydra is taken down, and with Jin on such low health, this is not looking good for RMIT Black.
Well, There goes the nades off the board. I believe one had already been used, so at least Axe managed to get one of those off before being fragged out. First of the line scans, no, the final of the line scans, sorry, to come out from Jin now in a 3v4 RMIT Black. Not looking too good in terms of HP. It is going to be an execute now. Here comes the first swing, but Sporter is there to take out the first on the Jin. Now a 2v4 below NBD. NDB looking for some kills throughout that hatch, but he can't quite find anyone deep enough inside of Kids. 20 seconds now as Yoda finds one onto the Nomad, and it's now all up to Vince here to find a 1v4 here for the first round. It's not looking promising. He has 11 seconds to jump in. The Toxic Babes blocking that off. Will find one onto the Jaeger just behind Bunks, but it isn't looking like anyone else wants to give it a crack, and there's Yoda to finish things off. Monash, take round one.
So what a way to take round one as well. Very, very convincing fashion. Even though they lost a few members, I think the pace and the control was in Monash's favor throughout. They were dictating how the game was being played, and RMIT Black looked like they were just along for the ride there. And a bit of a roller coaster that was, and might have fallen off a little bit too early as well. So they will have to pick things up as they go onto the second round. Laundry room and supply, the usual secondary site, maybe might have a bit of better luck here, but so far lil Monash looks well in control.
Yeah, Monash definitely did have themselves very well set up, I would say, for RMIT's push. They knew they wanted to bring that split game into play, and they had people positioned to try and slow that down. Obviously, that early pick from Pokadu did really well to set the ball in motion for the defense, and then obviously cleaned up a little bit by Tress with that shotgun in hand. Found himself a couple inside a trophy. So very well done by Monash to try and slow RMIT down, and indeed they did. I mean, a minute 30, we only just saw the attic wall being opened up. I don't actually believe main breach got opened at all during that round for the attackers. So RMIT did really just have to funnel through those two doors, and Monash were able to sort of just play to that weakness and shut them down as they came through the doors. It was pretty straightforward for them to shut that one out. But now they've got a pretty standard downstairs setup, it seems. They do have the elbow extension, and obviously Flores isn't in play, so Mute isn't going to have to really be bought here, but there are a couple of nades, well, more than a couple of nades on the board for the attackers, so they're definitely going to have some good utility to try and clear this position.
Having said that, Wamai and Jaeger are both on the board, so it's going to take a lot of coordinated effort to push this out, and we're going to need a back tower push, most likely as well, in order to make sure that Pillars isn't a point of pain as well. Speaking of which, drones coming out now on this back tower. Lots of players outside waiting. Yoda Pug will fall back slightly into this crossfire with Pokadu as RMIT Black take the big tower area.
We could have seen Yoda Pug come up the stairs there. The drone didn't come down straight away, and there was one drone in close left, but probably better for the defense, him having stayed there. Now just jiggling to try and find some early info. There isn't going to be anything other really than footsteps that he can hear above him, giving the attackers positions away. No one is too game yet to have a go on peeking down the back stairs right now. Axaja was completely blinded there by the I believe the mute jammer for a second. No. Oh, it was the electricity. I didn't know electricity did that to Jackal's gadget, but there you go. You learn something every day. And now the focus has shifted to bunker. So do you think that it's going to be freezer and main, or do you think this is going to be hard bunker for RMIT?
Well, looking at the positioning of these players, and definitely the drones, I think it's going to be a bunker push. I'm not sure if that's the best idea, given the amount of utility there. They do have kind of the full map control. They kind of worried about taking the top floor as well. So a laundry freezer push could actually work out here, but I think it's a little too late now. They have committed, and you can hear the Maverick opening up the hatch in the background.
Yes, Jin is definitely going to work with the blowtorch on the E-box hatch here. He needs to give himself a gateway into the site, and now he has opened something up to use for his team as Jackal AX Hydra now does take that pillar's control. So RMIT have got some good positioning here for a backside execute. They still need to get that elbow control as now the Havana opens up that E-box wall to provide an angle into the site. However, Bowie from Freezer does have default covered on the cross here as Yoda finds the first onto Jin. Execute coming out now with 30 seconds left. RMIT need to commit to the site.
Fortunately, Smoke is still on board, and he's still got those Smoke Babes to work with. Lots of angles being opened up now, though. NDB and Axe holding all these plays position. It's just a matter of time before the execute can finally happen. OJ now halfway through planting already. I'm not sure if they are aware. Indomie picks up one, but OJ gets a plant down. One more down from RMIT Black, but that's 3 against 2 now in the favor of RMIT.
Post plant now, 45 seconds left for the defenders to work with. They have to aggress onto these attackers, holding their angles. Will spot one for Trespierre. Yoda goes down, but they're not going to find one. Orange Juice and NDB clean things up here. Habana Nomad combo onto the site. The final 2 kills, and that is going to be around now under the belts of the attackers, and RMIT have found themselves one to put on the board.
That was looking really good as a defense for Monash. I think they had good positioning. They were playing very carefully. They fell back when they didn't need to take the gunfight, and they were kind of waiting for that execute and really playing that bunker down, anchor down strategy. Unfortunately for them, RMIT Black was just too fast, and they just managed to win all their gunfights when it most mattered. I mean, getting a plant down on Oregon is no easy task, especially on something as defender-sided and on that bottom floor site. But RMIT Black made it work, and Monash just didn't have a way to respond to that.
Oregon is also one of those maps that it is largely defender-sided, so seeing the defense have good means to end rounds and then having it slip away is very unfortunate, obviously, in eyes of the defenders, but the attackers, it just shows that they're working that little bit harder in these end round situations to make these plants go down. It was very, very close for RMIT to get that bomb off just then. And Monash did a very good attempt at retaking into the site. They got a couple of kills. They couldn't obviously find the final 3. But it was a good attempt nonetheless, and obviously that is going to hurt them in terms of their round count, but it is still 1-1, so it is still early days, and it is largely still even, and anyone could walk away with this half, but obviously lil Monash are going to be looking for a 4-2 if they want to have a good chance at clutching things out when they go over to the attack.
Yeah, I agree with what you said there. It's not a fundamental issue where there's problems with the setup. So, they can go back to the site and attempt it again. I think it just came down to, when you take those 50-50 gunfights, sometimes you just end up losing. You can play all your cards right, but at the end of the day, you still have to fight. And sometimes, even though you have the advantage, it's a percentage thing. You might not always win the fight. But enough has been said about, I think, that fight. We're looking to another fight here, and this time we do actually have some upper floor presence. Yoda Pug, and I believe it is just Yoda Pug on the roam right now, and Sporter actually will be underneath. It just looks like from the perspective. But Yoda Pug, with that extra maneuverability from the Rooney, could actually form a really, really great late flanking.
Yeah, Rooney's going to be pretty big in her given position right now. Yoda could cause so much damage to the attackers side of things. We'll be able to get that Cade call though. Jin manages to spot it through the grates there. Now look at the position from Yoda. He's been largely undroned inside of Kid's top floor. A minute 30 gone, and they still don't really know that he's just hiding out upstairs. This flank could be massive for Monash if he can pull it off. He has dropped now into kitchen, and he's making his way down the green hall. However, Nomad it off is going to be his next issue that he has to deal with. He is looking like he wants to just hold out here and try and play for a pick, but he's going to try and take out the jab. He will be spotted now through the drone hole, and he is going to have to fall away, but no, caught just on the way out through, I believe, some holes opened up by Jin. He will be finished off, and the flank dies along with Yoda.
It was a valiant attempt, but unfortunately it was not to be. Perhaps he could have just opened up the hatch and played a little bit of a safer position, but you got to risk it for the biscuit. But he did not find any biscuit to chew on this time. Will be a 5-player push now, as OJ is, however, downed. They are aware of him now, which brings it back to a 4v4. And if they're down, this could be a bit of a tricky situation. 3v4, however, as Axe picks up another kill. And with 30 seconds left, the execute will be happening very soon.
RMIT Black, they do have one player inside the side at default. However, Trest does have a pretty big positions here inside of elbow. First C4 to come out from Pokadu will take down the planter though. Jin's going to retrieve the diffuser and go for the secondary plant. Now shotgun in hand for Trest. He needs to swing on round. Will find the planter. This is looking good for the defense. 3v2. However, Vinci is there to find Pokadu. 2v2. They need to get this bomb down. 7 seconds left. They have to commit to the plant here from Freezer. Still being held by Bowie. Will find one. He's going to get 2. Monash for the defense are going to find their second, all off of that Freezer crossing.
Well, Prone One would be proud of that. Look him go. Definitely not the angle that Vincia was expecting. And a very tight angle to be peeking as well. And of course, with Tresp around the corner, it's a very difficult position for Vincia to be in. He's got to cover 2 places at the same time. And if his timing is off, there'll be a shotgun to the face to finish that round. But lil Monash will be able to take that second defensive round here. RMIT Black still playing a bit of catch up, but so far it's been very, very close nonetheless.
The rounds that we've seen so far from both of these teams have been really well executed on both degrees. We've seen really good pushes from RMIT Black. They have a lot of control really early on. They're getting their hatches open. They have themselves set up. They had a really good setup there, it seemed, inside of meeting. Now, I'm not too sure how Jin knew he was there. Maybe a drone. Maybe he just saw/heard Yoda there coming from kitchen. The air jab may have obviously also... when he went to prone for it, giving him away. But that was really well covered by RMIT Black, because Yoda could have been a massive issue there for the attack, albeit they still did win. So the time that he wasted alone is going to be pretty big for them. But still, both of these teams have had some very, very close rounds. A lot of 2v2s, 1v1s, etc. So it is proving to be a pretty decently matched game so far from what we saw in the win-loss shown at the start of the game. So I'm definitely interested to see if this does go all 3 maps, because I have a feeling like there is a possibility that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, we started off thinking that it would be a 2-0 to RMIT Black, but having seen, lil Monash play against them, I'm starting to have my doubts. And if they keep playing this well, it could even be possible that lil Monash actually beat out RMIT Black. For reference, for those who haven't been watching, last season RMIT Black was, of course, the runners-up, and before that, for the last 2 or 3 seasons, RMIT Black have been the undefeated champions. So this is a star roster. I mean that when I say a star roster, but lil Monash taking it toe-to-toe with them at the moment.
Yeah, they are definitely giving them a good run for their money, I would say. They've been performing very well so far, but here we are, RMIT Black starting to make their way in. They do have bottom main control now, which is going to be pretty good for this top 4 execute. Sporter will take a little bit of damage, not too sure where, but he has been tagged up at the top of white, possibly from Trophy. First nade to come out, not going to connect, but hopefully has cleared the utility off the wall, which will now allow Orange Juice to open up that default sort of side and holes into the site so they can go for this execute in the latter part of the round. Some shots traded there just inside of the site between Zofia. Axe Hydra did manage to find himself a frag. And with a minute 30 left, still opening up attic here. Yoda will start things off with the first kill on Vincia though, which was possibly off the back of a run out from Small Tower. And again, this roam from Yoda has proven to be quite big for Monash.
Yeah, last time he did manage to get a kill, but he still managed to burn time. That's the important part here. Now he's done more than that. He's taken off one of the key players here. He's taken off Vincia, of all people. And that's a set of frag grenades gone as well. Jin will miss the first frag grenade. I think that was a bit of a misclick. And the ADS will eat the second one, so no more frag grenades to work with. But 1 minute, that's not a lot of time. It might be time to start thinking about an execute here.
Orange Juice did walk in for a second there and managed to find one onto Pokadu, who was playing, I believe, on the shield just outside of the kids' forms there. Now, we'll get that ADS, which will now allow some utility to be thrown deep inside of attic, unless there are obviously any my discs. And we'll be using that air jab to burn the first, but Call looking the wrong way. Tresp is actually going to go down there from double window. And I believe Orange Juice has made his way into the site. Sporter will go down as well now. Now 2v4, the plant yet to go down as Orange Juice starts to commit to that, but it's a flurry to finish things off. Axe Hydra with 2, Jin for one of his own, and that is the round to RMIT Black. Now 2-2.
Well, it looks like second floor is just RMIT's site. even the first time they struggled a bit with that early pick onto OJ, but once they managed to get into the hang of the swing of things, they definitely just bore down onto lil Monash, who didn't really have a way of stemming the tide of players just flooding in from both the attic and also that master closet. Of course, NDB was also crucial there, offering pressure onto that big window, and it just made it very difficult for players to rotate between those areas. And of course, Tresp, unfortunately caught looking the wrong way, didn't help that
Attackers need to
at all.
locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
It was rather unfortunate for Tresp there. He was just caught in the crossfire of things, but that's how RMIT wanted it to be set up. He needed that crossfire from the double window, and well, NDB provided, managed to find them a kill as well, and ultimately was the smoke too, so that did shut down any toxic babes that he had left, given that he hopefully did have some left. But even still, they didn't manage to win that round, and unfortunately for Monash, they did lose it 2-2 now, so RMIT Black looking good. 4-2 is still on the cards for Monash here, and as I said, they are going to need it if they want to do well in their attack, because Oregon is a very hard map to pull off when you start on the defense, going to the attack, closing things out, especially if you're down on rounds. It is quite hard to pull off, given that this is a defender-sided map, usually, than what we see. But right now, RMIT Black do seem to be firing up a little bit, ready to continue on in these rounds. They had a pretty good one last round, and we're going to see if they can bring it here again. It is the same site, so they could be walking away with another round here.
Vinny this time making sure he's clearing out this small town. I don't want Yodapug doing any funny things again, but this time he has vacated the premises. He will be in fact in meeting this time, so still roaming, but not quite the same location. In fact, he's all the way at the bottom of the basement, waiting for those players to ingress towards the attic. Speaking of which, NDB and one more player, I believe, are looking for a way in, and if they're not careful with their droning, Yodapug could get a free kill here.
I don't think he was spotted by that. He will now, though. As I said, he does get spotted out. Vinci takes a considerable amount of damage, possibly for some vertical there just inside of kids' dorms, maybe through meeting. I believe it was the vertical Axe Hydra as well now is going to be taken down. I believe it's actually Bowie upstairs through the floor. Sporter as well, dealing a little bit of damage, but Axe Hydra will go down. Pokadu, however, is going to be taken down as well. Not finished at the moment. Flashbangs to try and stop the res, but Smoke seems to want to try and cross here to get this res off, and Tress looks like he's going to try and stick it here. Sporter will take a lot of damage from a nade, and they are going to be trying to confirm this kill. Indeed they will. NDB will be graced with the headshot to finish things off. Now 4v4 coming into the later half of this round. It's going to be whether or not RMIT can execute a man down.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I haven't really seen any walls being opened here. I think the attic wall, not sure if that's open, but definitely Master will still be remaining closed. In fact, yeah, it has been opened, but it's just Jin pushing here. And I'm not sure whether this barbed wire actually will give him away, along with Tresp as well. Smoke could actually shut him down here.
I think Bowie's Nitro just did more damage to him than anybody on the attacking side just then, unfortunately. Here's the first toxic canister, though, second, sorry, for Treps to come out to deny double window. Vincier on low HP will be able to take down Bowie, though, which is a good pick to find in the later part of this round. Yoda still on this flank, similar to what we saw him on last round. However, not yet to go down. He's going to be making his way back up the main stairs. RMIT Black don't, I believe, have any bodies. I don't think I saw one just before. The bomb's going down from Orange Juice now, though, so this is looking like it's going to be a post plan. However, Jin taken down by Sporter. Last toxic canister to come out now. The bomb does go down, and Orange Juice isn't going to get away with his life. However, bomb is planted. Now a post plant for the attackers. And here comes Vincier up white. His position largely known thanks to the beeper, but it's a post plant.
And to be swings, finds one, but can he find the other? There's still two players left, and it's all up to Yodapug. He knows, he has the information, but unfortunately ADS is at the wrong time. NDB cleans that up, and that's another round on the second floor once again for RMIT Black.
Well, forfeit does be the 4-2 for lil Monash, but 3-3 can still be pulled off. It is just going to make their attacking side all that much more important. 2-3 isn't the end of the world, though. If they can find this next round, they are going to be in clearer waters. But right now, RMIT Black are definitely looking like they want to push for this 4-2. And honestly, that round was really good from them. A couple of close calls in that final. It was a 2v2 in the end, and Vincier, obviously on low HP, did manage to pull through with a couple of kills. A 6-pick from Pokadu onto the mute, though, was interesting, off of the Wamai 4 downstairs. Especially with the amount of grenades that are being bought by RMIT, as well as flashbangs. So I'm definitely interested as to why that Wamai was 6-pick, but still, Jaeger and Mute are going to be the ones on the board for denial. We're going to see if it pays off. I mean, do you think switching out the Wamai was a good shout here for Monash?
Well, so far what they've been doing just doesn't seem to be working. Maybe it's time to switch it up a little bit. I mean, we have seen Yodapug be able to punish the lack of roam clear. And in fact, you know, on this very site previously, he was able to just burn time. And of course, he got the first pick, I believe, on that last second floor round. So maybe leaning into this and, you know, denying the ability for RMIT Black to find him earlier might give them the edge they need. If it just burns enough time, might even allow Yodapug to come back in for a late flank and shut down that execute.
Yeah, we definitely have seen a little bit of a lack here from RMIT Black in the ability to clear out Yoda, who gets into either early altercations and gets away, or just never gets found by the attackers. And I think for him, that is going to be huge, because alone he has wasted so much time, gotten so many important kills late to mid-round, and has been really beneficial for the defense right now. However, RMIT Black do look like they are a little bit more focused on his whereabouts right now. Gets into an early altercation with Vincier, does manage to get away with all of his health intact, as well as, unfortunately, not dealing any damage to the attackers. So he's had a little bit more of an interesting start round here, but he is still yet to be taken out, and it looks like he's making his way back downstairs towards the site.
That's a minute wasted off the clock, but you know, RMIT Black still have made good progress. They've managed to clear out that small tower side and secure their flanks with those air jabs as well. Gives them plenty of time now to start working on this hatch, E-box hatch. Once again, crucial hatch that needs to be opened. Will make taking the bunker a lot easier as well. C4 goes out, but doesn't quite hit Jin. In fact, still on quite a lot of health, but the Cade Claw will be removed. And at least he doesn't get zapped while opening up this hatch.
I don't think the Nitro actually dealt any damage there, which was interesting because half of it was through the hatch, but maybe the damage propagation wasn't quite there, unfortunately, for the defense. Albeit, another C4 now wasted, but Sporter does trade a lot of his HP for a frag all the same onto Axe Hydra. So the defense still finding the first pick here is going to be good for them to try and hold this late round. But here comes the Freezer rotate. Main stairs now is in control of Vincier. He does have a drone as well for bottom Freezer. A nade being cooked could prove to be devastating if placed well. However, it's only going to do a little bit of damage. It seems no frags to be collected, and now the execute has to come out for the attack here if they want to try and claim this round instead of alone.
Sport, however, still in a great position. Not sure if they know of his whereabouts. 5 plays against the 4. Make it 3 now as Pokadu ends in life. Vincier, lots of players on sorry, no, just Spotter on low health now. It's 40 seconds, execute starts coming out. Pokadu manages to find another, but it will be Spotter finally shut down. The Crossfire and Bowie and Yodapug will end this half, in fact, at a 3-3.
It's a very cinematic end there as he emerges from the flashbang to take out Freezer presence for the defense. Very well done, Monash. 3-3. This is a very round-for-round game, and I'm very pleasantly pleased that it is going to look to continue this way. It looks between these two. RMIT Black, that round, they had a lot more focus on that roam presence, but that did cost them in time. As you said, a minute wasted single-handedly by Yoda, and he didn't really need to do that much. All he did was pick his head out a couple of times, shoot a couple of drones, run away, and then boom, minute gone. Thank you very much, RMIT Black. Unlucky. You know, he did really well on that roam, and I think that did contribute to the win there. But now, lil Monash are going to be on the attacker side, and RMIT Black are going to be on the defense. Now, this is where we could see everything switch. This is where RMIT could run away with it, especially if they find some good rounds early on. Starting off on the top floor is an interesting choice, but one that most teams will make. We did see Monash start, I believe, downstairs. I may be wrong. But still, RMIT are going to be trying their luck on the top floor.
I do like the presence here of the Mozzie and the Mute, so, a lot of information denial here, and so much so that I thought that they were actually going to start on the bottom floor and play a bit of a roam game here. But no, it will be that second floor here, so with the two C4s, I certainly expect them to be playing underneath as well, C4ing up onto those default plants and onto that big window as well.
Even with just the vertical holes we see there, made under double by Jin, those will be very beneficial if they can manage to catch anybody unaware through that vertical angle. Now, we do have Twitch coming in here as a substitute for Flores to try and clear out the main wall utility. However, Mozzie and Mute both in play for RMIT Black, which is going to shut down a lot of this Twitch utility here on the terms of the attack. Now, could sneak through the drone hole here, and Orange Juice, I believe, might be on camera. So that Twitch drone may have just got through. We didn't get to see, unfortunately. But 3-story now is forfeit. No, it hasn't got through. So Mute Jammers are doing their jobs. But this is going to either force lil Monash to take a different approach, or they're going to be able to open the wall. Maybe the Twitch drone did get through, all be the same. Wall now opened up. Attic, I believe, was just opened up by Maverick as well. So this is looking good for Monash in terms of time.
Yeah, there's still 2 minutes to work with, so plenty of time to pressure onto this defense. And I'm not sure if there were actually any players downstairs as well. Of course, with that Nomad, it will make coming back up a little bit more difficult. So definitely a good position as well. Tress now getting ready, I believe, for this frag grenade over the top. They do know there's a player roughly in pit. They will have to clear him out in order to push down that attic area and start their execute here.
Bomb located by attackers.
Pit is going to be a point of focus. Here come the flashbangs that you spoke of, which are going to force Axe Hydra away. It's not going to deal any damage, but Pit now cleared. This is going to allow Monash to try and push on up. Speaking of push up, Tress will find the first onto Orange Juice inside of the site. Vinci is still on this very heavy roam. C4 to come out, not going to connect. Jin goes down as well. The defense is slowly starting to crumble in the site. They are going to be able to revive Jin here if they can get the res off. However, Yoda, I'd imagine repelling on kids is going to be looking to deny that for as long as he can.
Yeah, still plenty of time for the attackers to work with now, and Vinny now having to rotate back up via those white stairs. One more player will be spotted out, and Jin will go down now. 5v3, and the health pool is still mostly full. I spoke too soon. Vinny will take down Spotter. And a quick kill, not quite, but Bowie will also take a bit of damage here. Axe Hydra, however, in a great position, managed to find Bowie, and Diffuser down, not quite, and Vinny. Oh, okay, you know what? I couldn't even keep up. RMIT Black just kill everyone. That's what happened.
I believe it was a trade, and then Jaeger just schooled on some kids there behind the double bunk. That was a little bit of a style move there, I will say, but that looked good for the attack. Arguably, lil Monash had, unfortunately, that not gone in the favor of the defense. Looked pretty good to take that. I mean, RMIT, they didn't have the nitro from below. They would, I believe, down in man count. But Axe Hydra and Jaeger as well, NDB, they just, and Vinny even, just turned up, cleaned out the site, and albeit netted them the first round on their defensive side. Now 3-4, they are going to be going downstairs to Laundry, and then maybe we'll see our first attempt at a tertiary site here, because keep in mind, Spud, we still haven't seen meeting kitchen or kitchen dining yet from either of these teams, so could be something that we see here in the future very soon.
Yeah, I really did want to see lil Monash pull that out, one of those sites out earlier, given that they were struggling a little bit on that second floor. But, what's done is done. It will be now onto that basement, as you mentioned. Again, a very strong site, and with Mozzie this time, once again, I expect a very strong roaming presence here. And Vinny, he's shown that if he's left unchecked, he can do so much damage. For reference, it was a 5v3 previously, and, I was like, there's no way Monash loses this. And then so quickly, it just turned around completely. They just wiped them off the map.
Spud confirmed cast a curse. He doesn't even need to say it, it just happens. It's rather unfortunate. But either way, all jokes aside, Monash now down 3-4. They need to get this round to equalize if they want to keep up with RMIT Black. As I said, if these guys find their footing and take off with their momentum, this could end very quickly for Monash unless they can keep up. So they're going to have to pull something pretty big off here. Now, they do have some good control. They're setting up their flanks towards the bottom of white. We are seeing third story droned out, obviously. Bowie, however, is cut off by this pest. And here is Vincier on this roam upstairs. Now, he's doing a very similar thing to what we saw Yoda doing. He's drawing the attackers up, taking their time away from them, and causing issues at later round when he hasn't been taken out quickly enough. So we're going to see if he can do as well as Yoda did in this position, maybe even find a couple of kills.
Will, however, be spotted out now, and he's going to make his way back down, but he could be actually caught. No, he gets the better of him. Manages to take a lot of health out of Bowie. Now, as he continues to play this position, he's just burning up so much precious time. That's more than a minute gone already, and he's still up here.
Still alive as well. I mean, Tresp currently isn't looking even towards where Vincier is, and if he swings out a little bit to the left, he will be greeted, but there you go. He's just going to walk along nonchalantly into the crosshairs of the Mozzie. Will spot out Pokadu as well. Can't quite hit that headshot, unfortunately. So Vincier has already done massive work on this roam. Will lose a lot of his HP. Still has a Nitro to play with here. However, waiting for the swing. Will spot the head of Bowie and take him down. A double now. Close in the corner. We'll see the twitch as well for 3. Vincier's on a tear, but finally Yoda puts a stop to it now. A 2v4 with only a minute left. 1 hard breacher on the board. This isn't looking too good for Monash.
At the end of the day, it took the Jedi Master to put an end to the reign of Vincier, but the damage has already been done. 3 players removed off the board. None of these walls or hatches even opened up yet. This is just not looking good. But, you know, how things can change oh so quickly. Spot are looking for a fight now. If they know they have to take this fight, it's not a good position, but it's now or never. They're going to have to do it anyway.
Well, MBD can't really see much. The flashbangs from Sporter here providing good cover. Here comes the send down backstairs, but Jin's there on the crossfire. Sporter takes a lot of damage as well. He's not looking to find any, but all 4 members are just sprinting towards the backstairs. That smoke is going to force him off and back outside. I'd imagine he's going to try maybe for a bunker, possibly just to run around. No, he gets tagged up from the M590 from somewhere. Orange Juice from Narnia puts him down with the sniper shotgun. GNs to come out from his own team, keep in mind. That was an amazing round. Roma kills Roma, and then he did, well, Monash didn't find a single frag after that, and RMIT just closed it out.
Well, that is the RMIT Black that we've seen win these championships. They are just unstoppable at the moment. 2 rounds in a row, and lil Monash is just looking a little bit dazed here, especially with that sweet 3K from Vincier. Lil Monash just struggling to respond here. So we go into round 9. Finally, meeting hall and kitchen. We've been waiting for it, and they have delivered.
It was quite a spicy round in terms of the roams, but now this is the tertiary site that we've all been waiting for. Kitchen, a meeting, finally an attempt at a tertiary here for RMIT Black. Yet to lose a round on their defense. Monash still need to find one on their attack. Now, 3-5 is a bit of a predicament to find yourself in. 2 rounds to equalize, but only 2 rounds for the defenders to walk away with it. So Monash are going to have to put themselves a gear up if they want to try and find some of these rounds, because RMIT Black are starting to find their pace. Vincier definitely showed us he's warming up in that previous round. So, I mean, Monash should definitely be a little bit scared coming into these next few rounds. They need to, well, they just need to get the mental up and get these rounds on the board, because if they don't, we could see map 1 go to RMIT Black very soon.
Mind you, Oregon is RMIT Black's map pick, so they do have a little bit of a home ground advantage. Having said that, though, Monash are no slouches at Oregon either. Of course, we've seen the other Monash team go undefeated, I think, bar once on Oregon. So I wouldn't be surprised if they've passed on some of their wisdom onto lil Monash here, their younger brother. But so far, TAC is making their way into the small tower. They're looking at cutting off this half of the site and getting some pressure early and stopping players from moving about too much.
Bomb located
Speaking
by
of moving, Pokedo slightly inches a little bit too far forward into that BP device, and he will have his position known now. But Axe Hydra is actually going to get taken down. More team damage dealt there than was by the Wamai, unfortunately, under Pokedo. But all the same, the opening pick is now found, and it doesn't matter. Vinsir is there to find one for himself. A lovely shot onto the head of the Sledge as well. So a lot of their soft breach now, well, most of their soft breach completely removed from the board. Pokedo also on low HP. So a good engagement here for the defense. They do come out on top, but still a 4v4, still doable for the attack here. They could change their focus to the top floor, but it looks like they're trying to just force White here. But Vinsir is actually going to get taken down by Sporter, so the attackers could definitely make a play into Kitchen.
Pushing out now, aggressively making sure this double door stays, attacker free. But they will be now changing their focus onto that kitchen door. Smoke has to use some of his utilities, slow him down, and Sporter now opening up this wall now to get a better angle. Maybe the nail in the coffin here once all these angles open up. Not sure if there's any top floor presence, but NDB says doesn't matter. Takes out Pokedo as well. Brings it back to a 3v3 now, with a minute left to work with.
It's going to be the execute now. Bowie does do a lot of damage to NBD there. NDB. I always get those two mixed up. Anyway, final second of the round. 50 seconds here. 3v3. A lot of damage now dealt again to the Jaeger. He's not looking too good for this final round. One more toxic canister left for Orange Juice, which he will use to deny that security hallway so he can hold this angle in through the breach now as Jaeger is coming round from a green hall rotate. He has managed to make his way back, largely uncontested and unscathed. He does have his life, however. The peek from Orange Juice will do a little bit of damage. No frag just yet. The smokes as well from, I believe, the Jackal to cover that cross. But they need to get into sight. They only have 20 seconds. They do have the bomb in hand. However, getting past that shield and Orange Juice very similarly is going to be a pretty tall task as Jaeger finds one. Refragged by Sporty. Yoda finds one on the Jin as well. Now a 2v1. The shotgun in hand. Orange finds one, but he's not going to get the second. And Monash, there is their first attacking round on Oregon.
So it's the Thermite, the support player who has to do it all at the end of the day. Once everyone else is dead, you got to clutch up and carry up your team. Manages to find that last kill in what was sure to be a nail-biting finish there for Monash. Very, very close. Almost lost their lives to that shotgun. OJ just burning so much time in that breach. Great use of the SMG and the shotgun and his utility. But alas, it was not to be, as Sporter manages finally to take out that last player. 4-5 now to RMIT Black's advantage, but finally a chink in the armor of RMIT Black.
I'm sorry, NDB. I apologize. I'm sorry. They're so close together. I can't get it. It's all good fun, though. Either way, as you said, very well done. And Monash, they've managed to find their round. This could be where they catch up now 5-5, or we could see RMIT put us on match point. They've already won upstairs once. We could definitely see them do it again. However, they are now going to have to apparently work for it because Monash seem to want it as well. They fired up for that third, for that tertiary bomb site is what I wanted to say. And they definitely had a pretty good round. They got a little bit hung up on the execute. They were stuck inside a dining for a considerable amount of time, and Orange Juice did a pretty good job of holding them off with the toxic canisters alone, and then even found a couple of kills. But couldn't do all of it. It wasn't enough, and they did manage to make their way in. Very well done. But now RMIT Black back up to a site they have already won and definitely could walk away with this round if Monash can't shut them down.
I mean, I'm not sure if this is going to be a theme we continue to see here, but so far, Monash have had a little bit of trouble with that execute, that last second, as you've mentioned. On that very first second floor attack, they were, of course, 5-3 up, and then right at the end, when they went for that execute, they were just shut down. And of course, that meeting kitchen, as you mentioned, they're a bit hung up there in the dining room before finally managing to make it onto site. It might just be a case that RMIT Black is really good at those last seconds, those dying seconds of the round and playing under pressure. But for lil Monash, they have to get this execute right because that's where you win or lose the round.
Yes, it all does come down to the 20 seconds, and it was a large part of the meta back in the day. Obviously, the 20-second meta, smokes, yings, plants, all of that fun stuff, but now it has shifted. So we still see some teams implementing it. Obviously, it can still be viable in some cases, and Monash seem to struggle in those last 20 seconds. They do well sometimes, and then sometimes they can't make it happen. But, I mean, right now, we're going to have to see if they can clean up that 20 seconds meta. But as I say that, Vincia takes down Tress. That is the sledge removed from the board, and now a 5-4. Vincia did lose a little bit of HP in the altercation. However, no frags were got, which is going to cost them late round here. And Jin is going to add to that himself as he finds one onto Bowie now and disappears back down into the basement. And he's not going to get refragged, unfortunately, here for Monash.
Once again, the roam game so powerful here on the second floor. I mean, we've seen it multiple times. Left unchecked, the roamers are just able to do so much damage. On both sides, Monash, of course, with Yoda Pug, and now RMIT Black with Jin and Vincia. 3v5 situation, it means Monash is already at a disadvantage in what is already a very difficult site to attack.
Top floor does require a lot of setup. You have to have these angles open. You have to have the pinch. You have to have everything set up perfectly for the execute. And right now, they're still waiting for that perfection. But as I say, Yoda will take down an OJ and leave NDB all by himself inside of the kids' dorms now. So Attic has been forfeit. Sporter is deep and they do have control. However, a shield here is going to be pretty big for RMIT Black to hold on to for this late round, because unless they can get rid of it, nades have been taken away. Finka has none left. It is going to be relatively hard, but Pokadu is actually going to find a frag on the Vincia, which is going to be big for the attackers here. Now given away by the beep device. It's 15 seconds left for the execute, and they're going to have to commit to the side.
Water now pushing and Yoda Pug jumping through the gate. Lots of shots here, but finally we'll be able to take one out. It's all up to Axe Hydra. NDB is actually, yeah, the advantage has fallen back to RMIT. And they will clean up that last player to take on to match point here, 6-4.
Very well executed by the attack. Unfortunately, as you said, the 50s just, the gunfights didn't go in their favor. They lost their ones and they couldn't make it happen, but we are going to have a small tack pause here for Monash and get the troops in line. They just want to have a small little chat, I'd imagine. I mean, look, down 2 rounds from RMIT. They didn't sleep it up. They need to make something happen here. This tack pause, hopefully, they're going to be able to suss what's wrong, talk about it. Do you like the pun there? Talk about it and hopefully figure out what they need to change up, possibly for the last round. This could be it. As we know, RMIT have already won the downstairs, very similarly to the top floor, which they kept in pattern with in the previous rounds. But right now, RMIT Black are looking pretty good to close this out, I think.
Yeah, they do have an extra round to work with here. And hopefully they have taken this time to kind of reflect, think about what's going wrong. Hopefully they have thought about those the roamers who just have been left unchecked, and this time it will work out a little bit better. But for RMIT Black, maybe not so much something that they wanted, kind of breaks that momentum a little bit. But, you know, they do have an extra round in their pocket, and the way they've been playing, I don't think those extra 30 seconds or what have you will make a huge difference here.
Look, it is going to come down to the final seconds, I think, this round. Maybe we'll see that elusive 1v1 post-plant clutch. You never know. Something amazing to finish things off. But it is going to be whether or not Monash can even get into the site. Last time we saw this played, Vincia cleaned up on the top floor. And I don't actually believe anybody got further than halfway down those back tower stairs until they got cleaned up by the defense. So hopefully the round goes a little bit better for Monash this time than it did the previous downstairs attack attempt for them. And RMIT Black will possibly be made to work a little bit harder for it. But honestly, this could go to OT. Hopefully the tack did something for them. Hopefully they've cleared their heads a little bit. And hopefully now they can take it to RMIT Black with a little bit more of a fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked for G2. Remember when they all just started shouting at each other during a between games, and after that, they just played flawlessly. Who knows? Maybe they've gone all that anger out, and now it's just going to be the zen of Siege. You know, perfect Siege, 100% headshot rate. But attacks will be starting out now. They are pushing through this main door, and they have got that crossfire set up onto players on Zulu. So they will also be putting down those air jabs to shut down those roamers a little bit more, but so far it seems no roamers actually. This time they are playing safe and will be sticking close to the side.
Ooh, close to finding the opener there. However, Pokadu somehow escapes with his life. OJ can't quite hit the shot there with the M590. He does a fair amount of damage, but pays the price in terms of his own health. And unfortunately, it isn't going to result in a kill for either sides. But now the hatch being opened up by Bowie will give them an avenue into Freezer. Interesting tactic. A lot of gas used there. Cade will be dealing a little bit of damage to him, but that's nothing to be worried about. Tresp, however, he's going to take a bit of damage, but look at the position from Pokadu here. Bottom main, and he's ready to try and find a kill on this rotate.
Liking this adaptation. Last time, the con big tower push just didn't work, and this time they're focusing on that laundry. Maybe this might catch RMIT off, not expecting him, especially so far, so early on. Having said that, there is 2 minutes to wipe off the clock already, and so far neither team able to take a pick.
Oh, it looked like he wanted to walk in there, but he has found the first Jin to take down Sporter though, so a 1-for-1 trade either way in terms of kills 4v4. HP's pretty similar, but in favour of the defense now. RMIT Black need to close this out if they want to win this first map. Orange Juice will take down Bowie in the process. Spokes now to cover the cross. Vincia hits a shot onto Yoda deep in Freezer. It's all up to Pokadu and Trest. They will walk in. Going to take out the Malusi. Trest finds one, but the Jaeger's there to take down Pokadu on entry. And now it's all up to Sledge to clutch things out. A lot of damage. Delta Jaeger will down OJ in the process. Now a 2v1 confirming with the pistol. He needs to find 2 more. He's going to go for the reload. Still has 20 seconds left to work with. No frag grenades in the pocket. One is low. This could happen. He needs to hit some amazing shots here though. 12 seconds left. He's going to have to force the push. He's coming through Freezer. Jaeger misses his shots. Can't quite land and will sledge on through. He's going to have to commit to the swing. He's going to get the down on the one, but Jin's just hiding inside of pocket and he will take him down. And map number 1 is going to go to RMIT.
So close, but close is not enough. 7-4 it will be to RMIT Black. That, as you mentioned, couldn't have gone closer. That was almost that 1v1 clutch, just not post-plant. But unfortunately, the positioning of RMIT was just better. They had those crossfires, and ultimately Jin was able to play safe, meaning that Trest, unfortunately, try as you might, you just could not find that kill. Having said that, of course, it was a valiant attempt that, really looked like they could clutch it up. Those 2 early, it was a 1v3. He managed to find 2 players and could almost have made it work, but unfortunately just wasn't to be.
It was close. It was a valiant effort, as you said, but unfortunately defense, they had the crossfire, they had it set up, and they just shut it down. I mean, he couldn't find all 3. He did find OJ to start things off, but other than that, that is going to be map number 1 to RMIT. 7-4. They have done well, and we are going to be going to map number 2, but we unfortunately are going to cut to a 10-minute break, and we will return after that, ladies and gentlemen. So don't go anywhere. Game 2 will come soon, and we'll be back.
Before we're done.
From classic iced tea flavours like peach or mango to exotic lychee or pomegranate, you can enjoy your cha time any way you like. Cha time, shaking tea up.
Before we're done.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. like I need it. And we may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. 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 I just need to. I just need to clear my head. I just need to. I just need to clear my head. I just need to. I just need to clear my head. I just need to. I just need to clear my head. Can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. Oh, clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head.
On my mind, succeeded with hope, and you were sure I couldn't agree that we were meant to be. But our love is what they talk about in movies. Our love is what they talk about.
Our delicious new gingerbread and white chocolate Chatime is available in your choice of milky or frozen iced tea, or made hot, so you can enjoy it any way you like. Chatime, shaking tea up.
Hello and welcome back. It is a little less than 10 minutes, but we are here once again to bring you AEL University League playoffs. This is RMIT Black versus lil Monash, and we've seen a great first map so far. RMIT Black managed to take it 7-4 against lil Monash on Oregon. But we're going to be heading to Chalet now. How do you think this is going to be different or the same?
I think this is going to be very interesting, very similarly to what we just saw in Oregon. Obviously, Chalet requires a lot more strategy, and you have to be quite concise. But some statistics from the previous match, ladies and gentlemen. An overall look, we have some pretty good ratings across the board for the RMIT boys. 1.3 for Vincier, 1.47 for NBD, NDB. I always do it. And then, unfortunately, look, 7-4 wasn't the best turnout for Monash, but RMIT did pretty well, I think, cleaning up that second half. They only dropped one round, so it really does show as well in the statistics. I mean, they did do well finishing that one out there.
Yeah, and if we take a look at the entries as well, Pokidoo and Spotter with a +3 and +2. That's actually pretty good for attacking, like getting those opening picks a lot of the time is, what helps you to get onto that execute. Of course, as we mentioned, it was the execute that ultimately brought them down. But overall, that's not bad, a +3 and a +2. In fact, it seems on RMIT, only one player has actually got a positive entry. So if anything, RMIT Black is just really good at fighting back from a man down.
Yeah, I mean, even then, the roams as well from Yoda, albeit only on a +1, but it wasn't necessarily the frags that he got. It was the time that he wasted. And it was just very well done on his end of the things. But teams are ready. Map number 2, Chalet, is going to be going on very soon here. Spud, what are your predictions for Chalet? As you said, Oregon is a completely different beast. So what are you thinking?
For some reason, I feel like RMIT might actually run away with this even more. Something in me just tells me that RMIT will just do really well on this. It's just more suited to them. I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling, But when have casters ever been right? The caster curse thing.
There's a lot of things apparently casters shouldn't do. Maths, predictions. We're not allowed to do anything other than talk. And I mean, I can see why. We get the math wrong, we curse every team, and then it all goes horribly wrong. But Thatcher, the first ban, probably would have guessed that anyway. I'd imagine, well, it's going to be Jackal. I was going to say Flores, but maybe wrong. What are we thinking for defense? Maybe Valkyrie, Mira, Cade?
Mira potentially could have a lot of impact here. Honestly, I'm not too sure what they might bring. Kaid, I think, as you mentioned, is also a great option. Lots of walls you need to make sure stay closed and on the flip side open. But it will be a Mira. Yeah, not much to say about that. Mira is just a standard ban.
Yeah, the double Spaniard ban from lil Monash. Now, what are they going to follow it up with? The Cade. So this is pretty much every ban line ever that we've seen, and there is nothing special, unfortunately. But look, Chalet is one of those very standard ban maps. Play different, if you understand what I mean when I say that. But I mean, this is going to be very interesting, especially with the RMIT starting on the defense. This could be a big split. I feel like 100% we could see a 5-1 here. And if we're lucky, maybe even a 6-0. I don't want to push my luck. But if RMIT keep up that defensive prominence that we saw from them on Oregon, this could definitely be a very scary half for them. And Monash should be quite worried.
Yeah, what a site to start off on as well. Master Bedroom and Office, a very, very strong site. You've got opportunities to be playing in piano and holding that, right till the end. You can hold in the bathroom. Also, you can do some early, stall tactics out on the mezzanine, on library walls as well. So lots of room for the defenders to fall back on. On the other side, however, I do like to see the Lion being brought out here. We didn't see him very much last game. We saw him once, I believe, but it wasn't too effective here. Hopefully he will be a little bit better here. And I do know that Monash are quite big fans of bringing that Lion. So hopefully on their map with their, kind of favorite operators, they can give RMIT Black a run for their money.
10 seconds
Yeah,
left.
it was very interesting that RMIT only bought the line once, and then
5
Jin
seconds
sort
to
of
insertion.
gave up on the whole lion thing after that round, which was
Attackers
quite interesting
locate
to say the
and
least,
defuse the
unfortunately.
bomb.
I mean, Lion is a very good operator to bring on Oregon as well. However, very good on a map like Chalet 2, which has a lot of those windy corridors. You can lock roamers down really well and sort of just completely lock people out. Now, this is a very interesting setup for RMIT. They have that double wall towards Solar open, and they don't have a smoke on the board at all, actually. So no rotates traditionally opened up with the shotgun. It will be Vincier doing a lot of that arm work. But right now, it is going to be a large focus on the mezzanine position here being held by Jin, actually using an impact to get rid of that Twitch drone there. So a good bit of utility trade, I would say. The need to be cooked out now, and Monash, a little bit of a slow start, a minute gone. They haven't cleared out Jin. They will force him back now, and they hopefully will start to make their way into the library soon.
However, will be contesting this very hard. He's still actually here, takes a bit of damage, but Orange Juice will take out Yoda Pug. In the meantime, and Jin actually gets away with his life. Library has been forfeited, but Jin is still close and ready to tear them a new one, and that's one for the head. That's Tresp taken off the board.
Jin with that K1A is definitely something to be scared of, and now the attackers find themselves down a couple of bodies. 5v3 here for RMIT. I believe the first of the line scans to come out. We'll spot some, but there is the refrag. A little bit late from Pokadu, but still Jin now taken down. Almost found a second on the Vincier there. But it has slowed to some degree. 1.5 minutes gone. Only one kill in their favor. Still yet to move anywhere near the main breach. They have no control of Solar. They have nothing really set up for that back of sight, and they are largely just going to focus on main here. I'm not too sure if Pokadu's system of trying to get rid of the Cade Claw there was actually the bet. Did he get it? Oh, it was bandit batteries. That's maybe why that worked as well as it did. But here's the thermite. Breach is opened up now, and we could be looking for an execute here from Monash.
Yeah, I do like the fact that RMIT Black have been able to burn up so much time just in that library position. But with that main wall open now, it's just a single step over into that plant. Of course, with this wall open, it could still do a lot of damage from the library, and Vincier still alive. And just take out Pokadu now. Landscan coming out now, getting ready for this execute as Squatter and Bowie both creeping into sight. Managed to get one now, and for once, the advantage is now actually in Monash's favor.
If they can get this bomb down, that would be huge. Bowie, I believe, dropped to try and contest OJ there on the C4. Doesn't connect from the Valkyrie, unfortunately. They do still have one in the hands of Axe Hydra, so they could deny this plant here. He still does, I believe, have this position in Piano. Will be able to take down the Lion. Now a 1v3 for Thermite to try and clutch out, but he's going to get one and no more. Sporter is finally gunned down from inside of the site, and the defense are going to walk away with the first.
Chalet I think gave RMIT Black a real opportunity to be continually stalling and playing aggressively with their opponents. I mean, we saw Jin and also OJ in that library area just stole so much time. 1.5 minutes is what we've got written down here before, the attackers were even able to start working on that main breach. Ultimately, that just stalled out so much time for them. They didn't have a chance to push out the piano guy. They had to hard swing him, and that's, just a 50-50 at that point. Of course, Vinny and OJ still at the back of sight, able to hold down those long angles. Hopefully Monash will be able to do a little bit more early game in that attack, get those cutoffs, and make sure those roamers, even if they are able to take out players, will at least be cut down on their way back to site.
Can I just say, that spray technique from Pokadu there to get rid of those bandits was very efficient. Saved the drone, saved the time, and just ultimately got rid of those bandits very, very quickly. So hats off to him for that. But all the same, now, interestingly enough, RMIT Black here win upstairs, then decide that they want to go down to the kitchen bomb site, which usually isn't the second point of call for most teams. However, this site, as well as the bar, have seen a lot more prevalence as a secondary site as opposed to downstairs. Now, This may be because downstairs after the rework isn't necessarily the best of bomb sites, and these secondary, middle floor sites are a lot better. But it is good to see RMIT Black busting out this bomb site as their choice. Now, they might possibly look for a rush here, but there's actually going to be a player right in front of him. He's going to find one, not a second, though. And the vault on him from Pokadu. He's got control of West Main Stairs, but that is really all they have. And they lose the second frag as well.
Well, going for a bit of an interesting strategy here. Doesn't work out quite well. Allies will be giving away the positions here. However, holding these long angles might be able to get a few picks. The line scanners will back them up. 2v4, with one down. This is still winnable. Jin also taking a lot of damage and now forcing all these players back towards the site.
OJ is going to take down Bowie, and Vinci is going to put an end to Sporter. OJ does go down in the end, but albeit an unfortunate attempt there for the attackers, did not pay off and ultimately just gave RMIT a round to put in their pocket. And 0-2 now, Monash. That is probably not the start that they were hoping for here on Chalet.
Yeah, sometimes you got to throw a spanner in the works, but unfortunately it seems that may have bounced back and hit them instead. Wasn't quite what they were looking for. Nevertheless, maybe a bit of a morale boost, just having a bit of a laugh there. RMIT Black still able to get that round in the pocket. Going back onto that bar gaming site, the usual secondary site, I believe. Honestly, I think the basement is actually the worst site. So.
100%. It definitely isn't very good. To put it nicely, it is a terrible site, I would say. Unless you have practiced it to the nth degree, you know it like the back of your hand in terms of your setup, and even still, there are multiple ways to get in, and it just doesn't make it the most viable of choices, whereas these second floor sites, as I said, they are starting to become a lot more prominent in terms of their picks because of the extension that is required to hold them is a very strong position. We see RMIT here fortifying the top floor over towards office. They also have library set up to play in. They have a lot of extension ready to try and slow down Monash here. And that is ultimately what Chalet is. Extend, 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 and then slowly fall off and cut off the pieces of your defense that you no longer need as the round progresses in terms of utility and frags, obviously. But RMIT Black do it very well, it seems, and Monash did seem to struggle a little bit with it in these two previous rounds.
In fact, now coming in from that north side this time, pushing a little bit indirectly towards the library because it is very risky to challenge that directly, what with all those players and set up there. But Vincia will be close by at the top of these stairs. Piano will be his home, but for now, taking out a drone and falling back is the usual strategy.
Taking out a drone and his Mozzie Pest, actually, so a bit of a one-for-one in terms of the util there. OJ will miss his Nitro, though, which obviously is going to cost him his Nitro, but no damage dealt, no damage taken means that he is going to escape with his life. However, Nitro lost means that he isn't going to have that form of denial for later on. But look at the lurk here from Yoda Pug. He's at the top of West Main now. The camera has not seen him. He could just walk into the site here, has given his position away, but he has to still make it through the kitchen towards that backside of the bar. Trep is going to go down as the first pick here from Vincia. Pokadu is there to equalize, though, with one onto Jin. Now, a one-for-one trade. Pokadu takes a lot of damage there. Vincia can't quite find the remainder of that kill. OJ will, however, find Sporter. So a 3v4 now for the defense. RMIT, as I say that, find another one. And now it's a 2v4.
This library hold just so powerful. Monash not able to get a single foothold or even take a peek at anything. Yoda Puck, however, has something to say about that. He does push onto site, but Vinny will shut him down straight away, leaving just old mate Bowie to find a headshot from Vinny.
Vinny with a big three-piece there for that round. Very nice shot to finish things off as well. You said it at the start, RMIT definitely know how to play this map, and they definitely look like they are quite well set up in terms of their strategy here. They're going to return back up to the master bedroom office. They also, interestingly enough, are bringing the Chanka smoke combo this time, as opposed to the Aruni And I'm not too sure, maybe it was a Jaeger previous round, can't exactly remember, I do apologize, but actually a 6-pick from NDB here onto a Cav. Could this be a Cav 6-pick, ladies and gentlemen? Something that we never, ever, ever see here. Forget the IQ from Yoda. There is a Cav in play right now, and I am very interested to see how this goes for RMIT
Defenders,
Black.
protect your bombs from being defused
That's
by
a
attackers.
bold move there. How it works out for them. Either way, it's going to be great. If he gets shut down, he's going to burn a lot of time because Monash is going to have to get rid of him to make sure they don't get interrogated. Of course, if he gets an interrogation, that's just fun for all involved. So, it'll be great. But yeah, I think he might even be lurking in the basement or maybe this first floor. Yeah, he will be in the basement, actually. He's not even giving himself away and hopefully catches any player who makes his way through that snowmobile garage. Once again, this second floor set up. Lots of angles being opened out onto that library area. Will let a player play close on the site. And of course, a rotate and some peeky holes round off this defensive setup.
It's good to see the Kavira going downstairs. Did Jin just spawn peek somebody with the SMG-11? Yoda Pug goes down. And Jin, mid-site setup, decides, you know what? I'm going to have a peek. And takes the IQ out as she's leaving the spawn. A very big pick for RMIT. Maybe this is why they bought the Cav. Maybe they're finding this game so far a little bit too breezy. They wanted to try and bring the Cav to add that little bit of fun to the mix, but you never know. It doesn't look like any of the members from Monash are going to be entering downstairs. So NDB is still largely unknown to be on this operator. However, that could all change with some good drone work here. Now, he is still just hiding on that bottom floor. I'd imagine playing for a late round sort of lurk. But right now, with that opening pick, RMIT are definitely looking very good to close out this top floor for a second time.
OJ also lurking on the bottom of these library stairs. We do know the players are actually ingressing through library, so C4 could actually end the life of yet another player. In the meantime, he's just holding his position, will be given away, but Jin makes a second with that SMG-11. Pokadu taken down low as well. This is not looking good for Monash at all.
No, here comes the roamers as well now, back up the stairs. Still anybody actually from RMIT to take a single ounce of damage just yet. Everyone's still on 100% HP. So that is also something to take into consideration as well, ladies and gentlemen, because Pokadu is on about 5 health, and then obviously his 2 remaining teammates both on 100% still, but the wall now to be opened up by Monash. They have a minute left to work with here, and a pretty good operator lineup to make something happen. They do have smokes, they have a couple of flashbangs to play with as well, but here comes the Kavira from downstairs, currently inside of bar. NDB could go huge here. Bowie, however, removes the clean streak, takes out OJ. Jin with 3 to take down Pokadu, though. Sporter will be taken out from behind inside of bar, and again, Bowie finds himself in a 1vx, and the X being 4 needs to take down the remaining members, and he won't even get 1. RMIT Black for their 4th unanswered round.
RMIT Black are just playing at a different level here. The aggression is just so punishing, and Monash just not able to find an answer to that. We said it before that, maybe this is where RMIT Black runs away with it, and it looks like it will be. Just 7-0. Vinny hasn't even died yet.
The man is unkillable. Oh my. And then very similarly, Axe Hydra only has 1 death. So right now, Monash are definitely hurting. That is a
not looking
pretty nice
good.
thing, yeah.
And considering this is, of course, Monash's map pick, this is not the way they want to go.
They have 2 players currently picking out. Tresp and Pokadu currently both breaching 250 ping. Pokadu has come back down. Tresp seems to still be struggling a little bit. Look, 4-0 right now, Spud. What are you thinking for half split here? Are we maybe going to see the 6-0? Do you think it's going to be 5-1? And then after the split, what are we thinking RMIT is going to look score-wise here?
I think Monash will be able to win maybe 1 round on either end. Sorry, on either half. On both halves, sorry. maybe get one on the 5-1 split right at the end, and maybe take one defense round, but I have a feeling that RMIT Black have got this pretty much in the bag. They have a lot of rounds to work with here. And, you know, they've got lots of breathing space. They're just kind of, you know, running around and just killing Monash. Monash just doesn't seem to have a way to, you know, fight back.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Monash definitely have been struggling, it seems, through these rounds that we've seen played so far. I mean, the Cav pick really just cemented the whole, yes, this is fun, meme sort of operator lineup, as well as the spawn pick from Jin with the SMG there. Now, still yet to come down from the clouds. Tresp still on 800 ping, but unfortunately,
there it goes.
36. We could be here back up to 144. Hopefully, it is fixed relatively soon, and he equalizes himself. Possibly a resume here. He has come back down, so it looks like the call has been to get things underway. So maybe we'll see him on the Lion now. 2 members from Monash there did not pick, and we've got a random Buck and a random Ash. So which are they going to choose to switch out? Is it going to be the Ash 6 pick or the Buck, or neither? Both of these players may be AFK because both are still yet to confirm their lock-in. Ash is here. Yoda Pug looks like he's going to confirm the Buck as well. So no 6 picks for Monash either. So there you go. We're back in it, ladies and gentlemen.
Attackers need to locate and
On for the
defuse as many
5th.
bombs
Yes.
as they can.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Pokedu just reconfirmed it. He is on production for the AFC challenge, so and so will we. So make sure to come check it out. But 5th round now for lil Monash and RMIT Black. What has been a dominating map for RMIT Black. Could this be the moment of change? Could Monash switch this up, or RMIT Black run away with this and 5-1, 6-0, 7-0 in fact? Anything's on the cards here.
10 seconds left.
7-0 would be
Cover the location.
pretty cool. I would quite enjoy seeing the 7-0, especially on a map like Chalet. Chalet is, I would say, quite a hard map to get a 7-0 on, albeit the people that I talk to would argue that this is an attacker-sided map. Now, whether or not that is the case, right now it definitely doesn't seem to be. But with Yoda actually finding one onto OJ to start things off, that is the Rook taken off the board. So a pretty good pick to find, especially with that 2.0. But all the same, Monash now, with the upper hand in terms of the man count, are going to be looking to push towards the bomb site, which again is going to be one of those second floor tertiaries they still don't want anything to do with downstairs.
Vinny once again playing this very aggressive position at the library. He's holding that angle, just misses ahead on one player, and his position has been given away, but he's continuing to just burn time here as Monash try to find a way to shut him down.
He's been allowed to cross back in deep towards the office, even as far as piano now, without being cut off. Here's the first line to come out from Bowie, which could have been a little bit more useful earlier on in this round to try and lock Vincier down, but he's managed to make it away with all of his health intact, actually, as Jin now is taken down by Yoda for a double, which is very good for Monash. This could be the one round that they need to get them back in this game, because currently down 0-4 definitely isn't where you want to be, but Vincier is still holding this top 4 for as long as he can. He does have a pretty good gun in his hand, and he can definitely do some work. We saw him do it on Oregon, but a 3v5 is a pretty tall order for them to clutch out here. He is going to have to do some big work upstairs.
He does have a shield to work with that's very well protected, but he will take a ton of damage and goes down as well. And with that scan coming out, he's not going to be able to get away very quickly. I think his position has been made known. They probably know he's down as well. But Axe Hydra looking like he wants to give him some backup. Will be holding this cross as well, but will be seen. Pokedu takes out NDB as well, leaving just one active player left.
A big 1v5 here for Axe Hydra if he can pull it off. However, a tall tail in this matchup, I believe it will be even difficult for the best to pull this off. He does find one onto Tress. Looks like he wants to go for the raise on Vincier here. Indeed, he will. Picks up the Mozzie and puts him back in play, but the swing on round now from the Buck won't find one. looking to at least find something, but no, Axe Hydra takes him down. The bomb has gone down, however, from Sporter, though. So now, a post-plant 2v3, better than a 2v5 now. Vincia back in the play. This could be winnable for RMIT.
Well, this is as close as it gets. Vinny on low health to kind of even things out, make this a little more fair. Taking a gunfight now. C4 comes out, but that Monash player will fall back. Pokadu on the stairs will take him out, and it's up to Axe Hydra now. Unfortunately, will be cut down from this long angle. And that's Monash's first round. Much needed round, but finally on the board.
Chalet has definitely proven to be quite a difficult map for them to wrap their heads around here in these first 5. Finally, though, as you said, they found their first round. 4-1 now on the split. Could still see the 5-1 in favor of RMIT. We won't, unfortunately, be seeing the 7-0 anymore, but the dream was there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this could still be a 5-1 split for RMIT. However, Monash has definitely improved the start round there as opposed to what we saw in the previous. Obviously, finding that spawn peak early on and then Bowie again finding a second pretty quickly probably helped very much so in that round. But look at this, the double denial, Flores and Carly being bought. Interesting pick on the Carly, I will say. Not an operator that we usually see too much, especially on a middle floor bomb site, but maybe they were anticipating a bottom floor possibly.
Sure how effective it's going to be, but I can imagine the Carly, holds up on that helicopter pad, or maybe even that mezzanine balcony, shooting across into this library and maybe denying some of the players in here. Speaking of which, Vinny will be putting down the frost mats on those windows, and I assume most likely on that bar window. Frost has really made a comeback here on this particular map as well. Lots of players are playing Frost on this map and this site, so honestly, I'm a huge fan of Frost, so I can't say that's a bad thing. So, but we'll have to see how it goes in the hands of Vincia. I'm sure he'll do much better with Frost than me,
This site is very Frost specific, I've sort of come to see. A lot of players and teams will bring the Frost exclusively for just this site on this map. Now, Yoda does take a lot of damage early on here and actually does almost forfeit his life. However, 50 damage is still remaining for him in terms of his health. So he does still have a little bit left to work with here, and as he rappels on up to the roof, he'll be a little bit safer up there for the time being. However, RMIT Black, a pretty good spread upstairs. They don't necessarily have anyone roaming in the basement at the moment, but Monash are making pretty good waves on the top floor through towards this office to clear this roaming position out here. Now, it is going to be Jin holding down towards the top of that piano door, but he is going to fall off and leave things up to Axe Hydra to try and lock down this hallway.
Library stairs is such a strong position as well, and with all those magnets to protect him as well, it's going to be really difficult for Monash to push him out. Vincia also on that crossfire and on this mezzanine will make it extra difficult. But it will be OJ actually to open up with the first kill onto that lion. So no more scans.
I believe he still had 2 left as well, so that's actually big damage with that nitro to take off the board. Plus, Lion's gun's just really good anyway, but the shield at the top of blue has actually been cleared out by the attackers, so that is going to force Axe Hydra to play a little bit more reserved on those stairs. In fact, I think he's actually completely given them up. Maybe he's playing halfway up. Yeah, he is. He's playing halfway up. So still, they do have some presence there. The second nitro, however, isn't going to be as fruitful as the first. Another 50 damage done to Pokadu here, which still pretty good to find if you are the defense, but Vincia has now been left on his lonesome upstairs inside of the library here. Does have some support from main, however, he's going to have to try and fight his way down this hatch. He's going to not choose to drop just yet. We'll spot the head of one. He's actually going to get one through the wall as he fades away, and he gets one before he disappears. 5 now to 3 with 45 seconds left of the execute here for Monash. This is going to have to be big.
The time that's been burnt is incredible here. 3 players left against the 5 and only 30 seconds to make this work. OJ also going for this long rotate, But with the Tachanka still on board, you still have options to kind of deny the time on these players. Opening up some of these critical walls and hatches now, hoping to catch players on site, but alas, it will be to no avail. Treff's not able to get that kill, and 5 seconds, 5 players still on board. They're going to have a rough time on this execute.
It is a massacre in sight. They will get one, make it two as Trespads, but Vinci is there for his second. And it is going to be the 5-1 here for RMIT on the defense. They definitely know how to play Chalet, and they've done it to a very high standard, I will say, on their defensive half. But now they lead 5-1 on the split. They do move on to the attack now, and we're going to be able to see what Monash bring. And it's actually going to be that downstairs site and our first Thunderbird of the night. Very similarly, our new reworked fuse. First one on the board as well here. So I'm very interested to see how this bottom floor hold goes.
I'm just waiting for the Clash 6th pick because I know they have a
Here we
cheesy
go.
Clash strategy. I'm pretty sure we saw it on stream the other time.
Here we go. This is going to be scary.
Yeah. They're going to sit on top of the snowmobile with the Clash crouch, and they're going to peek out from under the Clash shield.
Oh,
They're gonna do it.
no. Is that why they've got the rook as well? Oh, this is going to be a filthy round, I think.
Attackers need
This
to
is gonna
locate
be-
This is why they go bottom
bomb.
floor.
This is going to be a scary round. Oh, can they do it though? Can this be where they turn the score around? I still don't think the Clash was very good for the Carly was very good for them, unfortunately, in that previous round. I think they were expecting a different bomb site. That's what it looked like anyway. But unfortunately, the Carly utility, I don't actually think one single lance was shot.
Attackers have
So
located a bomb.
unfortunate for Monash. But now, as you said, this Clash strategy is quite filthy, and we will see if it pays off in the end.
10
Is this going
seconds
to
to insertion.
be team damage here? Bit of a conjugal meeting inside of blue.
Some sort of ritual, I believe.
Bless the
Attackers are
Clash.
moving to defuse a bomb.
Interesting. Still just having words with each other? Oh, is it a skin or something? I'm not sure what they're looking at. Albeit, they're all clumped up inside of the garage. They're going to slowly disperse now. Oh, here we go. I think this is the peaks you're talking about. They're going to pair it with the Thunderbird. Oh, no. There's all three there. Oh,
No. What? You're meant to jump on the snowmobile. Well, there goes that strategy.
oh no.
He spoke so highly of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Guys. I can't express how disappointed I am, honestly.
Bomb located by attackers.
My disappointment is immeasurable. My day is ruined. But all the same, the round continues. RMIT find a pretty good frag onto that Clash to start things off. The strategy now ruined, and they have a very good amount of control. Main breach opened up. Now backside starting to be opened up as well. Jin here making good use of this new fuse rework. Here comes the reinforced fuse cluster charge that we are seeing for the second time in this round as Act Charger finds one. However, Pokadu answers back with one onto OJ. The bullet hose from the Maestro starts to go to work. Vinci takes a little bit of damage. However, Pokadu is taken down by the IQ. And now 2v4. They do have a dock on the board. The IQ will go for the plant and DB getting this bomb down. However, I think the fuse forced him off here. It's going to be a 2v4 and they need to try and retake.
One player still outside that main breach, halting any players who attempt to cross. In the meantime, Diffuser will go down, however, Bowie takes him out, but answered back, and now it's all up to Spotter, and NDB will shut him down for match point.
6-1, a big score line to come back from if you are Monash. And unfortunately, it is looking like RMIT are very set to finish this quite quickly. I mean, the Clash strategy, I think the conjugal, the visit inside of blue was somewhat of the downfall of the strategy there, but you never know. It looks like they want to give it another go. We need to see the Thunderbird. No, it's the Valkyrie again, which I believe is going to be the 6-pick operator. No Thunderbird this time, so they're possibly going to play for the long-range heals with the Dock. Clash is going to be picked in by Tresp now. I'm interested to see if this works the second time as much as you hyped it up.
Fingers crossed. If I don't care if they lose, but as long as they do the strategy, I'm happy. You know, that's what we're here for. We're not here for, you know, the sick, you know, the one taps or the funny strategies or whatnot. We're here for Tresp crouched on top of the snowmobile. That's why we're here.
I'm still somewhat confused as to why they were all meeting in blue at the start of the round. I want to know what was so entertaining there. I want to get in on that action, but I mean, very similar lineup here from RMIT Black. They do have the fuse again, which actually proved to be really good for Jin that last round. I mean, cleared out the main wall, got everything set up for the thermite. OJ was there to open it up, and then ultimately find the opening pick as well onto Tresp, who, as we saw, couldn't quite get the clash strat working. But here we go. This is where it starts to work out. They've got Pokadu set up, Doc inside of the connector to try and dock him up as he needs. And it's going to be interesting to see. This is Monash's map pick as well, by the way. Keep that in mind. And currently down 6-1. It isn't looking the best for them right now, but a lot of damage dealt to Jin there. Was that a friendly nade or something? I'm not sure. No, it wasn't. Not too sure how that happened, but... Oh, my.
No.
Not like this.
You hate to see it. You got to feel for Jin, man. Like, the first time he just domed the clash, and this time he gets done in by something like that. What do you do about that? Like,
that's heartbreaking. Well, he's been docked back up. And now it seems that RMIT want to open up the back side of site, which is where the bomb went down last time. So that could be the focus here for them. And they could just completely ignore the clash.
yeah, I mean, a lot of teams, even after opening up that main wall, they will actually rotate over this back take. That wall is actually, you know, preventing players from crossing over. However, the clash has made her way over now. Looking at these players, will be flashed out now and forced to a retreat. And of course, with this player on the side of that wine cellar as well, could get that nice crossfire. Being forced back all the way now with the grenade in play. OJ already in sight, but will be zapped. Vincia looking for that quick pick, doesn't quite catch that player. Has 1 minute left for this execute.
A lot of damage dealt to Tresp there. They still can't clear this clash out. So much utility used and still fragless for the RMIT boys. Here comes, I believe, a smoke to block off the line of sight. Spotted on the flank, though, is going to be the Jaeger, and Vincia will be here to collect. No! It's actually going to be NDB who finds that frag. All the same, 4v4 to get this bomb down now. Pokadu finds his second through the smoke onto the IQ. A lot of damage dealt to him, though, and finally taken down by Vincia now. And Axe Hydra to add to the fray, finds one onto Bowie very similarly. Tresp, however, de-shields and takes down OJ for the 2v2, 40 seconds left. It's going to have to be an execute here for RMIT.
Unipug will take out Axe Hydra, and that's one player. Vinny, the man, the myth, the legend, can he do it? Gets one. He's looking for the last one. It will be Tresp with the shield, but he's got his shield down, gun out in hand. It will be a good old-fashioned gunfight. The quick hit coming out now. Will Tresp be able to take him down? He can't! Vincia is just better. And that's a 7-1 scoreline in the favor of RMIT as they take out this best of 3 2-0.
There's a reason his tag is .WC. It's because he gets things done, and RMIT Black off the back of a massive 1v2 finish out the map. And ultimately the game 2-0. Very well done by the RMIT boys. Vincia 12-1 for that game. The second had a pretty big game in the first, and ultimately a massive game in the second. I mean, wow, is all I can say. RMIT just wiped on Chalet there. Monash just looked like they had no idea.
Yeah, and of course, this was Monash's map pick, so you got to wonder, what were they thinking? What was going on through their minds as they tried so desperately to claw back some rounds? But RMIT were just unstoppable. If they looked great on Oregon, they looked even better here. And of course, we mentioned before, Vinny 12-1. You know, it would have gone to higher scorelines if, you know, Monash didn't just die so early. Having said that, let's take a look at the stats and see how this all panned out in the numbers. Monash not looking so hot, but, you know, look, those numbers just don't look so well. Pokadu, only player with a positive rating, and Tresp, unfortunately, with a -3 entry. That's a yikes.
Yeah, I think the Monash boys did have a very rough game, to say the least. Their map pick, and this is the scoreline. We see 7-1. As we already know, Vincia with a 2.15 rating overall. Huge from him single-handedly. I mean, his KD 12, his survival rate 88%. I mean, that was a massive second map from him, and ultimately the series in favor of RMIT. That was amazing. I will say it. It was so close to the 7-0. I'm glad that Monash did find one though on their map, which is unfortunate, but all the same, it was GG's, and that is going to be the 2-0, unfortunately, for Monash. This is, but RMIT have walked away, and we'll move on to round 2.
Yeah, having said that, I don't think this is the end of the story for Monash, so to speak. They do, of course, get a chance to play in the lower brackets, so they have a chance to redeem themselves. And this isn't a bad team at all. We did see them actually put up a great fight against, RMIT, the very first map. They've shown they have the potential and can really be a thorn in the side of anyone who dares to underestimate them. They will, however, be facing off against the loser from Monkey, UTS, and Thermite. So either another RMIT team will be their opponents, or it will be the only, I believe, New South Wales team here. Well, one of the two New South Wales team here. UON, I think, is the other one. Well, we'll have to see how that all pans out, as I'm not sure if we have the results from Monkey, UTS versus RMIT, Thermite, yet. From what I've heard, Monkey UTS is one map up, so if things continue, Monash will get a chance maybe to get some revenge and take out the other RMIT team.
Yeah, look, it would be good to see either the two RMIT teams match up or somehow, or maybe even see a very similar matchup to the one that we saw here tonight, Monash versus RMIT. But all the same, it has been an amazing night tonight. We've had so much fun. We do want to say thank you again to our sponsors, Indomie, for all of your lovely food needs, Chatime Australia for all of your bubble tea goodness.
And of course, AOC for the monitors, making sure we can see in glorious high definition. And finally, but not least, RIG for our headsets. Thank you so much for making all of this possible, making sure we can keep talking about Siege, and of course, for all the players out there to keep playing. But with that will be tonight. Make sure to tune in next week as we go to another match of this tournament, and we see how these teams will play out. It's been a great night tonight. I've had so much fun with you, casting with you, and just watching all of this unfold. But it will be it for now. So until next time, good night.
From classic iced tea flavours like peach or mango to exotic lychee or pomegranate, you can enjoy your Chatime any way you like. Chatime, shaking tea up.